Hi everyone, I'm Satomi and I run English-friendly bread baking classes in Tokyo. Today, I'll show you how to make tomato and basil shokupan, a soft and fluffy loaf with a fresh taste of tomatoes and the fragrant smell of basil. We use only tomato juice as the liquid. No water, no milk, just tomato juice. That gives it a beautiful color and an amazing tomato flavor in every bite. Let's get started. First, we need to make sure our liquid ingredients are at the right temperature before mixing. Our goal is to keep the dough temperature between 26 to 28 degrees after mixing. This is very important because this temperature range is ideal for yeast activity. It also gives us a better idea of how long the dough will take to rise. In cooler weather, when my kitchen is around 20 degrees, I warm my liquid ingredients to about 38 degrees. In summer, when the room is around 28 degrees, I use cold liquid around 5 degrees or lower. Adjust the liquid temperature based on your kitchen temperature. Now everything is ready, so we start mixing all ingredients together. Put the bread flour in the bowl of a stand mixer. I always use the bread flour with 12 to 13% protein content to make soft and fluffy shokupan. Then add the sugar, salt, and instant dry yeast. Mix all the dry ingredients gently. This helps them absorb liquid more evenly. Then pour in the tomato juice. Tomato juice thickness can be different depending on the blend, so at first use 10 grams less. If the dough feels too stiff, add a little more juice before you put it in the batter. I like to mix by hand first, so the ingredients combine more easily when I switch to the stand mixer. Attach the dough hook and place the bowl on your stand mixer. Start mixing on low speed, which is level 2 on KitchenAid, until there are no dry bits left. Then switch to medium speed, which is on level 4, and knead for about 10 minutes. At first, the dough may stick to the bottom. That's okay because the gluten hasn't formed yet, so don't add extra flour too early. Once the gluten develops, the dough will come together better. After 10 minutes, the dough becomes stretchy. Now add your softened batter. We add the batter at this point because fats like butter, marring, or shortening can slow down gluten development. So we let the gluten form first, then add the fat. Continue kneading on medium speed for about 15 more minutes until the dough becomes smooth and elastic. Now it's been about 15 minutes. The dough should feel a little tacky but not sticky. This is what we are looking for after kneading. Let's do a window pane test. Take a small piece of dough and stretch it slowly between your fingers. If it becomes this much thin without tearing, the gluten is ready. If it breaks, knead for a few more minutes and do the window pane test again. Once the dough is ready, add the dried basil. Knead on medium speed for a few minutes until they are mixed in evenly. We'll strengthen the dough using the slam and fold method. Hook the dough onto your fingers, excluding your thumbs, and gently slam it onto the work surface. Then fold it over. When you hold the dough, avoid gripping it with your thumbs, as that can damage the dough. Instead, use the base of your thumbs to support it. As you slam the dough down, gently pull it towards yourself to stretch it and help develop strong gluten. The goal here isn't to hit the dough hard, but to stretch it gently. Repeat 20 to 30 times. Check the dough temperature. It's best if the dough reaches between 26 to 28 degrees. If it's lower, the dough will rise slowly. If it's warmer, it will rise faster. It's time for the first fermentation. To shape the dough into a tight ball, do some candy cane shaping motions using your fingers and scraper to tuck the bottom underneath itself. it in a bowl seam side down. Cover with a damp towel and let it rise until it doubles in size. Now the dough is expanded. My dough finished kneading at close to 30 degrees, which is a little bit higher than I expected, so I let it ferment at a slightly lower temperature than usual, around 30 degrees, and it took about 50 minutes to rise. Let's do the finger test to see if the dough is ready. Lightly dust the surface with flour, then gently poke your finger all the way into the dough. If the dent stays and you see small bubbles on the surface, the dough is ready. If it springs back, let it proof another 5 to 10 minutes and do the finger test again. Sprinkle some flour on top and gently press the dough to release gas. Turn the dough onto your work surface with the smooth side up. From now on, always keep the smooth side facing up during shaping. This helps retain the gas inside the dough and also makes the surface bake up beautifully smooth. Place the dough on the work surface and divide the dough into 3 even pieces. Before cutting the dough, first shape it into an oval, then divide it so that the smooth surface forms a square-like shape, making it easier to roll into balls with the smooth side on the outside. Now we shape each piece into a tight ball. Turn the dough over and fold it in half. Place it seam side up, then fold again. Do one more time. The dough is already smooth. Then just need to tighten the shape by tucking the sides underneath. Place the dough seam side down and cover with a damp towel. Let them rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. This rest helps the dough relax so shaping becomes easier. While resting the dough, grease your loaf pan with spray oil or butter. It has been about 20 minutes and the dough has slightly expanded. To check if the gluten loosened up, poke the dough with your finger. If it springs back slowly and leaves a small dent, it's ready to shape. Let's shape the dough. Place the dough seam side down and lightly flour the surface if there's some thickness to the dough. Flatten it with your palm and roll it out with a rolling pin. Flip the dough over and shape it into a nice rectangle. Then fold the top and bottom edges toward the center so they slightly overlap. Dust with flour, turn 90 degrees and roll again from the center to the edges. Make sure the dough is a little narrower than the loaf pan. Roll the dough up from the top, keeping it a little tight. If it's too tight, the dough might tear during proofing, so be gentle. Pinch the end and place it in the glazed loaf pan seam side down. The spiral edge of all 3 rolls should face the same side. Spread the dough with water and cover with plastic wrap or a shower cap to prevent from drying out. Let it rise in a warm place around 30 degrees. Preheat your oven to 210 degrees about 30 minutes before baking. The dough has risen. The top of the roll reaches just a bit lower than the top of the pan. Place the lid on and bake at 200 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. After baking, gently tap the pan on the counter to let the steam out. Take the bread out and let it cool completely on a wire rack. When slicing a loaf of bread, lay it on its side and start cutting from the bottom corner instead of slicing from the top. The bottom crust is the firmest part, so the knife goes in more easily and you get a clear cut. This bread tastes great on its own. I also love it toasted with cheese. Thank you for watching. I hope you try this tomato and basil shokupan at home. If you liked this video, check out my other Japanese-style bread recipes. And if you ever come to Japan, let's bake bread together in class. See you next time and happy baking!